Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for the dime. His sister had another one, she paid it for the lime. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank and poured up. She put the lime.
So is that why Daddy died? From the curse?
Yes, my darling. Your mother knew. She heard the beetle ticking for your father's death all day long. She knew that when you hear the sound of the Death Watch beetle, the man you love is doomed to die.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the channel. We're at the crossroads. Woo! Look, I have a friend, just in case. But yeah, the crossroads. We're always talking about the crossroads, and that's the cross, right? That's us. The cross. And where does it meet? At the heart. Okay. And right there in the middle. And we're here to talk about the 12 laws of mind. 2 are law, and the other 10 are the nature of the being that is inside you, yourself, the self. And those 10 are karmic laws because you're fighting your nature. That's the nature of your being. Okay. And the Bible describes it like, a braid. There's the middle, which is what everybody's trying to get to. And what happens is, you go to the right, you go to the left, and you learn it's just right, and then you take another one and go to the right, go to the left, go to the right. And you're flipping that middle braid in there, okay? And you're weaving it all together. This is all the different ways it's described, because a man has to learn it through concepts and allegories, parables, stories. It's the only way he can learn it, because he was the created first. He was created. He is limited. Okay. And as a result of that creation, the way God wanted us to know the story, is that he's loved, even though he turned his back on his family and went out into dead man land and hung out with death for a while. After a time, he came back home. It's prodigal son. And the way the Bible tells it is, God gave his creative imaginative force to the man. That's God's wisdom, his love, and his passion. Okay, his creative juju is all of that. His love, his wisdom, his infinite intelligence is all in the imagination. Okay. And he gave that part of himself to the man. And then he went and dove into the man's body and started creating his body and braiding himself into the form. So not just that, he fills up all forms, and he's the one who animates them. So we learn that, even though we're limited because we were created, it goes on for generation after generation after generation until the braid is complete. And one of the questions that's come up is, how do you make yourself feel and believe what you're telling yourself? Well, you don't have to. Okay, that's the point of what I'm trying to express. There's 2 ways of using your imagination. If you've always been poor and never been rich, for example, this is what I mean about you go over the top. You have tea parties, and we're going to play make believe. That's what you're going to do. And for a few minutes, moments, half hour, you're believing it because you're playing make-believe, okay? And I love make-believe. And you're making belief. All right? You're making believe. Okay? And you're dropping it easily because it's make-believe. Okay? But you're claiming that. Let's make believe we're at a tea party and we're at the Ritz. Okay. And you're a lady of leisure and I'm a lady of leisure. Okay. I like that. Yeah. So you're going to tell me about the newest thing that you've created, your artsy craft stuff. Because I love it. It's beautiful. And I'm going to tell you about something I read. Because I'm always reading. Okay. And okay, so I'm going to come knock on your door. Julie, Rita, oh my goodness. And if you have someone in your family who's studying these things, that's something you should do. And Neville Goddard even brought that up in one of his lectures, how a mother and son did this. And they ended up owning a hell of a lot of LA. So, it's understanding that you've taken it to the next level of understanding. Now you're not just make-believing, now you're make-believing. And this is what I mean by you'll read the same words or hear the same song or say the same thing, but now you see it differently. You have a different kind of understanding to it. Okay. And so you feel it real when you make believe. And this is the mental diet. I'm just, no, I'm not here. I'm really in, Dallas. And we have a ranch right outside Dallas. And, whatever. And I have the big hair like the women in Texas. Whatever you believe it is, because like in the 80s, everyone around the world was watching the show Dallas. That was, and they all thought we had horses and we all had, an oil well in the backyard. But if that's what you believe, because you live in England or somewhere else, you imagine that, okay? It'll get you there within your belief structure. It's not wrong. Okay. It's the stage you set. All right. Now, some things you think you want, but it turns out that it's fine if you want it and you can have it for sure. But are you sure this is what you want? Okay. And that's only a question that you can answer. Okay, because a lot of times it leads to a dead end. So that's why it's the labyrinth of your mind. So you thought you wanted fame and fortune because you thought the two went together, but they don't. Fortune is fortunate. Okay. I have good fortune. Means everything benefits me. I'm lucky. I'm successful and luck counts, and this is, how you look at it. The words have not changed, but their meaning has. So it's fortune, fortunate. You're fortunate. And got great luck, things always go your way. It's wonderful. Fame, is one letter away from flame. Okay, and one letter away from aim. And you need a flame to get it going, the passion. you know, get the fire going. So it's, you know, putting understanding to it. And the way you do that for yourself, if you can't, if none of these videos or other videos are triggering it for you, you know, making you snap, oh, I get it now. It's, you know, thank you for your wisdom, Father, on this matter. And if it's a problem, it's, or you can't, you know, have a bad without a good. There, for every problem, there's a solution. And I know the solution's coming to me. Sure as shit. Sure as the sun comes up every day. You know, it's just the nature of the being. And that is your being. You're learning about yourself. Okay, and then you're going to claim that. Hey, I didn't know. You know, but it tells you over and over again while you're struggling with this and you're coming to terms with it. You are the humble servant. You're serving God. You can look at that as master slave all you want, you know, but you're serving God. And then when it flips, God serves you. He serves it up all on a silver platter for you. Because when you flip it, and the ancient Hindus called this Kundalini, okay, and that you're doing Reiki, I probably tortured that work, achieving that end. It's the same thing, said differently. You know, so it's getting that when you can't feel it real because you really have never experienced it and you want to experience it, this is something you want. You want to be able to enjoy doing this or that or the other. And I always enjoy life and I always have plenty of supply, you know, and it depends on what it is that's, you know, you perceive as this problem. But it's really about understanding, and that's why when you ask for wisdom, God loves that, and he loves giving it to you. So I hope this helps. It's, you know, that's the why you have the imagination and you have your own consciousness to pick and choose what you want to, you know, believe, right? And you play make believe to do that. And Florence Scovel Shinn's work is just full of examples of people who, you know, this one woman was always saying she was a widow. She was a widow when they were kids and they were playing. You know, and what she did, that's what happened. She got married to this man she absolutely adored and became a widow. You know, and this is the story of practical magic. If you haven't seen that movie, it's a great movie. And that's why we're using the practical magic clips today, because she believed it with all her heart that she would hear this sound and that meant her husband was going to be taken away from her and she needed to kill that bug. And what she needed to do was kill that thought.
No.
What's that?
I know you're in there. Michael, look out!
Look out! You're right!
No, he's perfectly fine. And he went through all this stuff and he was perfectly fine. And then as soon as she, you know, really bought it, he died. He didn't have to die, you know, which is what the ants were trying to tell her, you know. And she finds out that, you know, they put the love spell on him. And she felt like it wasn't even her own free will anymore that made that choice. But no, the aunties could tell you wanted love in your life, and they just saw the two of you looking at each other and figured it could only be good. It can only be good. And you be careful with your imagination while you believe in good and bad. That's all. Okay, because if you go straight to imagination like Neville Goddard taught, which is using the law of liberty, which is really for getting yourself out of a pickle, and you use it over and over and over again, you're hacking your life, and you haven't changed your thinking. So those things are going to come up. So don't worry about, do I feel it right? Am I feeling it real? And all this other crap. No, it's go be in your imagination and just tell your imagination how much you love it, because it gives you comfort. You can go there and be the rich lady of leisure. You can go there to be Santa Claus. You can go there and be something you want to make a belief about and experience. So I hope this helps. Blessings to you. And thank you. Thank you for being you.
But you never wanted to fall in love. What's the point? The guy I dreamed up doesn't exist. And if he doesn't exist, I'll never die of a broken heart.
She drank and poured up, she put the lime in the coconut. She drank and poured up, she put the lime in the coconut. She called the doctor, woke him up and said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, to relieve his bellyache." I said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, to relieve his bellyache." Now let me get this straight. Put the lime in the coconut, you drank and poured up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drank and poured up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drank and poured up. Put the lime in the coconut, you called the doctor, woke him up, said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, to relieve his bellyache." I said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, to relieve his bellyache." You put the lime in the coconut, you drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut and you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut, drink